What's up, guys? Welcome to the world's greatest sports betting show. I'm your host, John Hysup, joined, as always, by my friend with the red sweatshirt on, the great Matt Modi. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Slop? Yeah, even though we're wearing a Philly sweatshirt, this is now a Padres program. So don't let the Philly sweatshirt. It looks good. I like the red. It's comfortable.
It is nice.
So I'm wearing it. But this is a fully Padres program and no other team.
All right, so what happened? So the Phillies, they're down two. One more loss and they're out?
Two things happened. Number one, the Padres are actually they were my World Series pick. I put a future on them to win. Like, I basically, whenever I do futures, it's just to win $1,000. So whatever that math adds up to, it could be 50, could be 20, whatever it is to win 1,000. So I have a future on the Padres. So the only team I have a future on. And also the Phillies stink. They just completely lay down and died yesterday. It's pretty unaggressive at bats, pretty loser energy going on there. So that's what happened. They're kind of like the Phillies are doing, or the Mets are doing to the Phillies what the Phillies did to the Braves the last 2 years, which is like they were the home team and then just like got completely outclassed in the series against them. So that's what's going on.
Well, being down, at least they're down to the Mets, because the Mets could Met it up. You know what I mean?
That's true. But this feels like a different.
Yeah, no, I think they're Magic. I'm still on the Magic Mets. So they're Magic. Yeah. Something's up. I don't know what it is. Every year you see it. I mean, it just
some team just like the devil Magic.
They're Magic, dude. Yeah, like they're extra Magic. So it's kind of wild. Yeah. You don't want to play that team. No. All right, so bet-wise, I don't remember what we did yesterday on the show. I do remember you liked Nimmo, and later on in the day, he was on the trends page. Hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5. He managed to do that without getting a hit or getting an RBI, which is kind of wild. He walked twice and then scored both times. So
yeah, that's crazy.
He got over that for the trends. For this show, Jackson Merrill did not hit a home run. I actually posted that later on in the day at Beat the Fish, and I was hoping he would hit a home run, but he did not. Nimmo obviously did not hit a home run. We just talked about that. Ohtani, that was mine. He did not hit a home run. And Tatis actually did hit a home run. So
and that was yours.
360. If my math is right, betting $100 on all four of those, you make $60.
You make $60. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it gets you through the day. That's baseball betting, man. It's tough to go back to baseball betting once we have football, just because of what we did to the slate Monday night. Like, that is doable. Whereas if you're betting baseball, to do that betting baseball is you just hit a bunch of home runs, and if you did parlay them, you probably made way more than like $900. You were in like the thousands range. Does that make sense? Like, there's no, hey, I went 4-1 and made $700 like in baseball. It's if you went 4-1 betting dingers, that you probably got like paid.
Yeah. Unless you're betting
less units. Yeah.
Or I was gonna say unless you're not betting dingers, which like none of us would do.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'll be honest with you. Next year, I'm going to go strikeouts a little bit more as a grind and not as a lotto. Even though I did hit one, everyone's like, "Oh, just do another one." You're like, dude, that doesn't work like that. Like,
just hit another one.
That's not. It's not like that.
Yeah.
The home run lotto though is much different. Again, we've talked about it a million times. It's one swing of the bat, so that's just different to me. I don't know why it is. It just is. So, and then we'll do dingers, and then I'll also do hits, runs, RBIs. So dinger parlays, hits, runs, RBIs, and strikeouts that should carry us through the entire summer and not be so feast or famine, because, man, it's tough to wake up after 10 days of hitting no home runs, which happens. I don't care how good you are. That happens. Yeah. It just does. And it's tough to jump back on, man. It's not like it's brutal on your brain, dude. It hurts.
Yeah, I think one thing there's two things that I want to do next year that I didn't do this year. Number one is look into more, like, instead of taking a home run in certain situations, do like a bases ladder. So take 2+ bases, 3+ bases, 4+ bases. Because I can think of multiple times where I took a player to hit a home run and they hit 2 doubles, which is not a home run, but that is 4 bases. And another thing that we've talked about is that I've talked about at least is if you, like, let's say you take 3 guys to hit a home run and you go 0 for 3, still look at them the next day. The qualifier is they had to have hit some rockets. that just didn't leave the stadium. So like, Jackson Merrill yesterday, he didn't hit one single rocket. So all right, I'm going to be off of him today. But Ohtani hit one 390 feet.
Oh, he did? I fell asleep. Damn, I would have went 2 for 2. Damn.
Yeah. And then Schwarber,
not even thinking about it either, bro.
Yeah, and we didn't have Schwarber yesterday, but just using him as an example, he hit he also hit one 390 feet. So did Francisco Lindor. So they're like, if you're betting on these guys because they're hot and they don't hit a home run, but they hit a rocket, then they're not suddenly not hot anymore. That's just kind of dinger betting. So
it's kind of dumb,
those are the two things that I want to look into next year.
All right. So what do you want to look into tonight?
Yeah. So we got 4 games. We got 4 games tonight, which is fun. We got
3 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, we're staggered. We might have to put it up. Okay. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good. We got one dinger guy on the mound in Ranger Suarez, who I don't know if you followed him recently, like the beginning of the year, top 3 Cy Young candidate. The last month of the year, dinger guy. Like that's the dramatic swing for Ranger Suarez. So I'm looking at Francisco Lindor and I'm looking at Mark Vientos in that game. Again, we're playing quarter units on any home run bet. We're not upping our unit size, matching it what we did in the regular season, which was mostly a half unit. It's just too difficult. But Vientos didn't hit a home run yesterday. He hit 2 in game 2, and he had 2 singles that both left the bat at 100 miles an hour. Francisco Lindor hasn't hit a home run in the playoffs somehow, has still been very good, and he sent a fly out 387 feet. That left the bat at 100.9 miles per hour off the bat. So those are 2 that I like in the Mets game. If you don't mind, I see you have the screen up. Both of those players, you were getting a pretty good price. Like in terms of like a difference between the best book and then the rest of the market. So I just want to see if that's still the case.
Let's go Lindor. Sorry, I was looking behind the scenes. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, so I guess Bet Online they just locked the market, but 475 at BetMGM, 450 at FanDuel, and then everywhere else, 375, 400, 380, 430, 400 or I guess that's 408 at Pinnacle. So you're getting a pretty decent price on Lindor compared to every other book.
All right, what about Vientos?
Yeah, so when I looked at Vientos, I had him at 400. Every other book was in the 300s, and like I said, he hit 2 home runs on game 2. He also had a double. And yesterday he didn't hit a home run, but he hit 2 singles that were both left the bat at 100 miles an hour, or above 100 miles an hour. And 400 looks like that's only at BetMGM now, but then we're seeing like 350, 370, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, Vientos is just a killer. He hits the breaking ball best on the Mets, and that's all that Ranger does. He's a breaking ball guy. So I know a lot of people are going to be on Pete Alonso, which I get. He's hit like 3 home runs in 4 games. I just like the other 2 a little bit better.
Okay, what about obviously we see that the Tigers are playing, so Barry.
Yep.
I kind of want him. The problem is Al Cobb.
Not a dinger guy.
Not a dinger guy.
Yeah.
In the slightest. Barry, though, is hitting righties pretty hard. Very hard, actually. His barrel rate on forcing fastballs, 27.3 in the last month. 63% of those balls ended up in the air. Cobb has given up a home run. And won this season. He's pitched sparingly. And it was to a lefty. So if we look at the screen, you can get 700 for Barry, 800 for Barry at Fanatics.
Wow.
I mean, that's not that
good.
crazy. Dude, my dog is killing me right now. She's like moving a blanket and there's stuff like, because I got her upstairs on the carpet, bro, and it's like she shouldn't be up here.
Yeah.
But she should be sleeping. But she's biting the blankets on the ground, which is moving the blankets, which is now exposing the carpet. We're going to see how this plays out. But all right, so Barry is obvious. And then I think that you kind of have to go to the Padres-Dodgers just because it's the Padres-Dodgers. I mean, it's the last game of the night. That series is electric.
It's a dinger fest.
So there's that. And Shohei Ohtani's playing. He's got Dylan Cease, which not really a dinger guy, but not really not a dinger guy. You know what I mean? Like, he will challenge you. And Ohtani, I mean, I know that we're not a pitcher versus batter show. I know that. Like,
God, no.
We talk about it all the time. We never even consider these stats, but Ohtani has 3 home runs off this guy in 19 plate appearances. So he knows him. He knows what time it is. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like plus 340 at FanDuel right now is
he's not a
insane.
Ohtani's not a 340 guy against any right-handed pitcher. You know what I mean? And the thing with Dylan Cease is he's coming off of 3 days rest. He last pitched in game 1. So he rests Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I mean, he might be good. He also might not be able to handle 3 days rest. And we don't know what that's going to look like.
No.
So I'm with you 100% on Ohtani. Like I said, he didn't hit one. He hit one in game 1. And then last game he hit one 385 feet, 103 exit velocity, 15% barrel rate, 57% fly ball rate in the playoffs. Looking good for Ohtani.
I mean, he'll challenge you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Cease will.
Dylan Cease will. So somebody said on there, like, you told me aces are dinger guys. I'm like, whoa. No, I did not say that ever. I said that there are certain aces that their stuff is so good and they believe in their stuff. And the reason why they believe in it is because it is very good.
It's good.
And they will challenge batters. Like, whereas like sometimes Ohtani might not see anything to hit in 3 at-bats against like a scrub. You know what I mean?
A bum, yeah.
And that's why he didn't hit a home run. Not because the other guy's good at pitching. You know what I'm saying? And he'll hit a guy over the fence that doesn't really give up a lot of home runs. Well, that guy challenged him, and that's what happened. Yeah. So I think knowing who those pitchers are is kind of important. Like, will this dude challenge this guy? Because again, I mean, you're betting a home run, so there's only so much handicapping you can really do.
Yeah.
But you want multiple things on your side, and I think getting a guy like Dylan Cease that's not afraid to challenge anybody is, I don't know, a good thing, because that's going to see our guy's going to get something to hit, even if it's not something great to hit, because it's still a pitch from Dylan Cease, but at least it's something, out over the plate and all that. So, okay. So we got 4 dingers. Barry is just, please win today. You know what I mean? Detroit, like, please. That would be so fun. Like, we're losing berries. Like, well, we only have 1 berry, but like,
we're losing
Jacksons are gone, dude. So if the Padres lose, which I don't know that they're gonna, then we're out of Jacksons and we're gonna need Barry. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully the Tigers can get on it, because also too, there was a ticket floating around that I retweeted because I thought it was pretty awesome. Some dude from Detroit put like a G-bone on the Tigers to win the pennant, I think.
There we go.
And it was like $600K, like to win, like 1,000 to get $600K, something like that. And the cash out was $35K. So we always talk about cash outs.
Never.
And I would never do that ever. And but it's $35K. So now you're talking about a substantial amount of money. But if you do the math, like, you bet $1,000 on the Tigers to win the pennant, you're probably not hurting for money. You know what I mean?
That's
35K is probably a lot to you still, because it is still $35K. But at the same time, you don't bet $1,000 on the Tigers to win the pennant to win $35K.
Especially when you know that you can get $600K.
Yeah. So, and then now everybody's in the comments, that's a donation, blah, blah, blah. This bet sucks, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, dude, I wouldn't, like, we could argue all day about cashing out. All right.
Yeah.
Whenever, again, it's politics. You know what I mean? Whenever your guy says something good, then I'm throwing it in your face and I'm spinning it. You know what I'm saying? And whenever your guy says something stupid, you're throwing that in my face. You know what I mean? So, like, anytime someone does win and doesn't cash out, the non-cash out crowd's like, oh, look at us. You know what I mean? Like, we do it right. And then when the cash out crowd, when they lose, they literally do victory laps on someone losing a bet, which is clown behavior, which never do that. That's not okay. Like, come on, man, like, be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're victory lapping. Oh, well, dude, you should have cashed out. You would have had that. Yeah, you would have. But I think by the end of time, by the end of your days betting, I would believe, or I do believe, that you will win more by not cashing out than by cashing out.
I agree. Yeah, it's the win percentage thing. Your ROI will be higher, most likely.
Yep. And that's all I care about. I do not care about the one win today. Although, like I said, all cash outs are not created equal. So there is that argument. Like, whereas like if it's to win $1,000 and they're giving me $300 and I don't think that last leg's really going to hit. Yeah, that's a thought. But then I'm always like, dude, it's $300. Like, roll. Whereas this one, it's $35,000. Like, it's I bet 1,000 on this. I didn't bet $100. I bet $1,000, and they're giving me $35K.
So let's see what I'm curious what my cash out is on my Padres bet.
Look at that. Yeah, it is a.
I'm not gonna take it. I already tweeted out I will never cash out. No. And then somebody was like, "What if they offer you more money than what your winnings would be?" And I said, "Fair point. Then I would cash out. If they're offering me more, then I would."
Because you don't have the bet's now over.
Yeah,
you've already won more than you would have won, which they would never do.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't a serious question, but I just thought it was funny. They're not even offering me a cash out. They did yesterday, but they're not today. So I guess they're terrified of it. They don't even want to bother.
Yeah, it's just a bad bet, the cash out. It's just a bad bet. But I mean, at the same time, like, how is it a bad bet if they win? Because it's every single time. It's not, you don't get to pick and choose when you cash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you do, but like, if you're a cash out guy and you're saying always cash out, then you always have to cash out. And if you're a not cash out, then you always not cash out. So like, it's not about one bet. It's about all of them.
And also, how do you know when to cash out? Like, let's say you have a 2-leg parlay or a 4-leg parlay. The first 2 legs hit. Do you and they're offering you a cash out option? Well, what if the third one hits? And that, you know what I mean? Like, how do you know when to cash out?
Yeah.
What's the math behind that?
Trust me, your mental gymnastics you're going to drive yourself insane anyway. So like, that's another part of it's mental like anguish that you go through. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out when the time is. Like, dude, just
don't do it.
Play. Yeah.
Yeah. Let it ride.
Because at the end of the day, if you're putting in good parlays, which you probably are, I mean, you're getting cash out offers. So, yeah. Anyways, speaking of good and bad bets, before we'll talk about the NFL, but not a lot's changed for me. If you listened yesterday, there is a couple things I want to talk about with that, but I definitely want to get your opinion on, because we were just talking about it yesterday, the day before. Plus EV is now kind of like that community is getting kind of mad at calling our shot. Our friend Austin, who is a friend of mine, I like Austin. Austin's not a scammer like he's being called, and he's just a good dude. But he does do ladders that are definitely negative EV because it's like 3 or 4 guys, and it gets it to even money. Right. Now, the pushback I'll give on these are it starts with $10 and you just roll over your winnings every time. So the most you're ever going to lose is $10. I have done way dumber things with $10. You know what I'm saying? Like, way dumber. So like there is that. But there's the EV guys. They're going after him. But they're not there's 2 different EV guys, dude. All right. Because what we talked about yesterday, those EV guys, well, again, it was used to be called picking off stale lines, board cleaners. It was not. That was not called EV betting. EV itself just means positive expected value.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's it. There's no market in play there. You should be making plus EV moves like in your life, not just gambling. You know what I mean? There's no market to consider. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't do something that's negative EV. But at the same time, when you're talking about the ladders, I mean, I don't know if you're making enough money and you want to do something fun, like for yourself, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna put this 10 on there. I'm gonna see how long I can double this up. Dude, have at it, bro. Like, I do milli parlays that I know are never gonna hit, but what if one did?
Yeah, what if it did?
What if one did, and it's $5 or less every day during the summer? So I kind of like thought about myself when I'm reading these. I'm like, well, my milli parlay is never EV ever. It's never close. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I have an ROI that says I'm allowed to do that. You know what I mean? And so and it doesn't matter. So what are your thoughts on that? And like the ladders. I mean, I know you probably don't really do them, or do you do them? I don't know, but like,
no. I have nothing against it. I think the only argument that I will accept for a ladder is, if your normal unit size is $10 and you win like 4 bets in a row, that doesn't necessarily mean you should be betting like 100% of your bankroll on one bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only, like the bankroll management aspect of the ladder play is the only thing that our only argument that I will accept. Is it positive EV? No. But like we talked about yesterday, and this is not a shot at anybody or anything, but the positive EV crew has turned into like these holier than thou, we're the smartest people in the room. And if you're not positive EV betting, then you're the dumbest person that's ever existed in the entire world. That's what it's turned into.
There. I don't know that these are that crew.
True. I guess
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it's been segmented. Like, cause like the odds jam positive EV guys and like what they kind of spawned are just market watchers. You know what I mean? Just board watchers. Where these guys don't seem to be that. They're just plus EV. Does that make sense now?
Well, yeah, I guess so. You're saying like and I don't know the guy who was going after CallingOurShot.
I think I follow him, but I don't.
Yeah,
but yeah, go ahead.
So he's like I guess the only point I was trying to make is that like the just because you're not plus EV has turned into this term that like nobody even knows what it means anymore. Like you said, it's just positive expected value. Like it just becomes this like catch-all of like if you're doing something that you don't think is smart, then guess what? That's now negative EV.
That's negative EV. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I try to stay away from a lot of these beefs because like 99% of them I think are really dumb. I will stand up. Like I don't know CallingOurShot personally. Like I've never done anything with them. Austin seems like a good dude. He has his following seems to really like him. And if he was a scammer, people would have known that by now. Like if you're going on YouTube every single day and you're posting your win-loss record and your math is wrong or you're just forgetting a bet, if you got 50,000 people watching your YouTube videos every day, they will know. I promise you they would find that out.
That was the next part of it. I mean, they go after his record, calling him a losing bettor, which I don't think he is. It would be pretty obvious if he was, just because you can't put your record up every day. And I don't know if you do work on the internet. I don't know if you've ever heard the internet and how it works.
Yeah.
But like, there's always somebody that is going to correct a mistake if you happen to make one in your record. So like, I mean, all that could be avoided with a bet tracker, which is why I love Pickett, because I can just post a screenshot. Here it is, buddy. This is what it is. Yeah, like, because you go on a 3-day run and you're the biggest idiot, or I'm sorry, a 3-day losing streak and you're the biggest idiot in the world.
Yeah,
And it's like, guys, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? This isn't I put in this amount of bets and this is how much money I make for that. It doesn't work like that. There's nothing linear about sports betting. It is up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you steadily rise up, and I don't know if you have, like, on my Pickett, I got like 3,500 plus bets, 9+% ROI. There's no denying that. You know what I'm saying? You can go to your profile on there and take a screenshot of how many bets are hidden.
That's exactly what I was
saying. Now you can show, like, nothing's hidden here. There it is. These are hooked to my sports books. I don't even think about a record. Where back in the day, I had to use a screen or a spreadsheet. So that was tough, man, because you got to do the math every day. You can set it up to do the math for you, but like you still have to put your picks in every day. It was part of your day, whereas now I love it because there is no part of my day that I even think about my record. I just go, because again, it's hooked to your sports books. Like they'll communicate and give you everything you need to know. But I don't know. Like, I just thought that was an interesting beef. So it's like that came literally the next day, or the day that we were talking about the Lions and the Hyenas and all that. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, the ladder is not plus EV, not at all.
And the thing is, he's not trying to pretend that it is.
He never said it was. Yeah,
exactly.
You're an idiot because you're doing it. And it's like, well, no, that does not mean, like, I don't know. Like I said, I've done way dumber things with $10. The thing is, though, you get, if you make it a day 6, you get maximum satisfaction out of that $10 because you get to bet way more than you would ever bet on anything, because again, it's all the house's money, even though I know it's not, because like it's your money, you want it, but like in your head you can write that off as, I only have $10 of my own money in this, and it's been almost a week and I'm now betting a lot of money, and it feels fun. If you're having fun, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah. And also,
like, to say you can't take your $10 out. You can even take like $20, $30 out, pay for your next couple ones.
That's like, exactly what I was going to say. You get to day 4, day 5, day 6, just bet $10 less than what you should. And then guess what? It's all free money from there. Or have your first bet be plus 200 instead of plus 100. And you win that bet. Guess what? You just made your $10 back.
Yeah. I don't know. So, I mean, are we talking about something that is plus EV, a 4-leg, even money, correlated same game parlay. No, that's not plus EV. Not even close. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not close. But at the same time, does that make you an idiot? I don't think that does. You know what I mean?
Or
And then at the same time, like they're like, oh, you don't even know what plus EV means. It's like, well, plus EV means like 5 different things now. It feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, like the catch all for everything. Like I know exactly what they're talking about because they're not talking about the same plus EV he's talking about. Like he's talking about like the Odds Jam crew of those guys, which that's a different type of plus EV. That's not the same thing as what these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
The guy that did come at him though, I will give him props. Like his whatchamacallit, ROI is like through the roof. Like it's good. I think he's a DFS guy.
Yeah, those people like Monahan, if you can hit a couple DFS plays, like your ROI can be over 20%.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like the DFS is where it's at in terms of that. But I mean, I don't know. Like I just prefer, like I said, I want to try to be an originator myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm never going to be that. But if you don't strive to be something, then you're never going to be shit. You know what I mean? So strive to, and you'll be better than you would have been if you didn't strive. Does that make sense? So
yeah,
I'm looking to I love when I can get ahead of news. Like I said, like the Kareem Hunt the other day, that was good. Juwan Johnson to an extent. Juwan Johnson was for watching sports. Kareem Hunt was just for knowing that, this backfield's his. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a news play. That was like, it's going to come out that CEH is not playing. It's going to come out maybe, too, that they're going to mention that Hunt is the lead back, and then this line is going to go way up, you know?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And sometimes, just the last part, like you don't have to be knock my headphones out, but you don't have to be an originator 100% of the time. If you can get it right once or twice a week, like sometimes that's all enough, and then you can be a hyena, whatever you want to call it, from there, and still have a really good ROI. That's
all I want, dude. I just want to be able to gamble forever and not have to deposit. And like I said, it's a Sudoku puzzle. Every day the board is like a Sudoku. It's your crossword puzzle. If you're a crossword person, if you're a Sudoku person, it's that. But whatever you're doing, like what whirl, that's a thing now too. Like whatever you do in the morning, that's my thing. I love doing that, especially NBA, MLB season where there's games every day.
Every day, yeah.
You can just go and look at the board and find something. Like find something that was missed, because these books are not pricing stuff on the same way that, you know what I'm saying, like that it works out in real life. Like they're just giving you median numbers a lot of the times, and that can get tricky on their part if you find an angle. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you find an angle. If you don't find an angle, then you're kind of just you're relying on luck.
Yeah, and that's another myth that always frustrates me. It's like, if you're, I really like this play. Here's my analysis for why I like this play. And then the plus EV bettors are like, you don't think the book knows that when they're pricing this?
No, they don't price.
No. And like at the end of the day, like the book is just, it's a market based on what people are betting. So like if I'm finding something that the market isn't finding, then no, the books aren't pricing that in. And if you just, you go through history of sports betting, and you can find these stupid lines, and like all this stuff I remember more because I'm an Eagles fan, but like the Eagles were favored to beat the Bucks in the playoffs last year, and that team had lost 6 of 7 games. They were a total mess. They were 3-point favorites, and they got smoked. That same Eagles against the Bucks 2 weeks ago were favorites to beat them, and there's no chance they're winning that game. And like getting the Phillies versus Mets, it's like, no, they don't always know everything, and they don't always price it. Like Juju Smith-Schuster just went off for 150 yards, and his over/under was 15.5.
Yeah,
like you're telling me that the Bucks know what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh, no way. So you couldn't have found out something that they didn't have priced in. That's crazy. That's a great example.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's receptions prop was 5.5. He had like 5 in the first half. And then if your logic was he's going to get more targets because Rishi Rice is out, the EV bettors are going to say,
don't the books know that?
Don't the books know that Rishi Rice is out? It's like, yeah, they do. But there's, like you said, they're going to price a median outcome. They're not going to price the floor and the ceiling.
Tommy G talks about that a lot. He's going to be on here tomorrow to replace you while you're off at your wedding. But he talks about that a lot. It's like, dude, they can't just go. They're not just going to go off the reservation and give you, what it should be. They have to move up incrementally. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to do that. And you only have a couple weeks to take advantage of these things. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Juju 15 plus. He went for, what did he go for? $150?
$150, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 10 times what it. So no, they don't know everything. No, it's not priced in. Like, just so you know, no, it's not. And like I said, there's smarter people with better models. Yeah, but what if I'm not using a model for this? What if I'm using simple logic? What if I'm using human elements? Like Kareem Hunt is definitely the lead back. How the coaches view that player. Because in football, that matters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they get to decide who gets the ball way more than any basketball. I mean, baseball is just a different sport totally, but like way more than basketball, hockey. Like it moves too much. But football, if you know what the coaches think about these players, man, like you're going to be – and if you can read coach speak, where it's like he signed, he was on the practice squad, then he was elevated, but he didn't really play, and then he did play the next week, got, whatever, but didn't start. It's like, dude, the natural progression is like they want a 20 carry back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your guy.
Yeah, I could talk about this. I could talk about this stuff all day.
Me too.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we should move on to the Thursday night game. I don't know if you have any changing thoughts. I know I was kind of on Ayuk yesterday, which I still am to an extent. I think everybody could be involved, though. That's my only problem with the 49ers side of it. I think that game does go over, even though now it's at 49.5. I don't know if you saw that. It was 47.5 yesterday, I believe. So that's a 2-point move 2 days before the game, which is significant because that was not your regular public, guy betting the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that was somebody that's definitely looking deeper into things. So that's big. But I think that game still goes over. I think one of those teams could get into the 30s, and I think the other one won't be that far behind, whoever that might be. Yeah. But Kenneth Walker Jr., we don't have alt receptions on him, but except for at Caesars. And it was like plus 130 something, plus 140 maybe. I think that has meat on the bone. Okay. I really do. I really do. They seem to want to get the ball in their hands no matter what. It's 2.5, yeah, and then Caesars has them at 160. So we don't have alts anywhere else, though, other than Caesars. So
Bet365 does.
Okay.
They have 3.5 at plus 140, over 3.5 at plus 145. They have 5 plus at plus 320. They have 6 plus at plus 700 and 7 plus at plus 1400.
How much for 7?
1400.
Jesus. All right. So the Seahawks, I mean, they're tough because, man, they've got so many mouths to feed. So many mouths to feed. But at the same time, why not? I mean, last week, the Cardinals only went to Connor 3 times. He only caught 2 of them. I don't know if they really throw the ball to him too much. But against the Patriots, who, again, aren't a real offense, Gibson got targeted 4 times. Stevenson got targeted 5 times. So that was there. The Rams didn't really go with Kyron Williams much. So I'm just going through the game logs here.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I mean, and then you look at the first couple ones, teams that actually do throw their running backs, though, like the Vikings got Aaron Jones, I think 5 times. Breece Hall caught like 6 passes. Those are guys that get targeted in that offense. So, all right, he caught 5. I'm sorry, week 1. The point is, though, you don't have to go all the way up to 5. You can just go up to 4, which is a big number. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, the payoff, I feel like, is pretty good. So I want to see what the numbers come out across the board, because FanDuel generally is going to give you the best alt lines. So before I commit to Caesars, I'm definitely thinking Kenneth Walker Jr. and to a lesser extent, Zach Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, yeah.
I mean, 3 plus is plus 120.
Yeah.
That's not that crazy.
Not crazy. Yeah, I actually, so I'm on Walker Rushing. I mentioned it yesterday. I'm still on it. I officially gave that out on my YouTube and on my Dub Club. I actually kind of don't love the receiving angle for Kenneth Walker. And this is solely because, to be clear, I didn't look at receptions, because when I looked at it, I was only looking at yards. But his receiving over under is 50, his receiving 15.5. He's hit that number in 2 straight games. And I get that this isn't perfect, but he's only hit it in 11 of 34 career games. Like, he's generally not a passing back. And if he does, it's like he's not running a route.
I can push back on that immediately, though. That's a different coaching staff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I totally recognize that that's not a perfect stat. I just, after crushing his receiving prop for 2 weeks in a row, receiving yards specifically, that makes me want to be off of it the next game. That's all. It's just like unless he's turning into a more receiving back, which he never has been, which again, like you said, different coaching staff. I personally like the rushing yards angle better, but I mean, we could both hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be involved no matter what.
Yeah.
And I don't totally mind the rushing numbers. It's one of those where if they don't take a lead, and at the same time, he only carried the ball 5 times last week. It's like,
exactly.
How the hell does that happen? Like, if they do go back to him, it's like, do they go against San Francisco? Is that the hey, let's try to run on these guys team? You know what I mean?
Because you can run on them when you want to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Connor, 19 for 86. They were ahead. The Patriots didn't run on, but they were behind, so that you can't really look at that. 13 for 43 for Stevenson. No quarterback there, so that doesn't matter. The Vikings, they didn't even try, really. It looks like 19 carries. Darnold went 5 for 32, which is kind of crazy. But Tyler Chandler was the one that the change of pace back. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I get nervous when you get a pass happy coach, because do they recognize what the hell they just did? Because how the hell do you only give them the ball 5 times?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Grubb came out and said that, like, oh, we have to get Kenneth Walker more involved. So part of that is the coach baked aspect of it, and part of it is like, I just feel if you're coming off of a loss where he only got the ball 5 times, I just feel like these caveman brain coaches are good. And I actually think their offense coordinator is smart. I'm not necessarily saying he's a caveman.
Yeah.
Their immediate overreaction was like, oh, well, we lost this game and he only got 5 carries. So guess what? We're going to pound the rock with him as much as we can in this game. You just have to hope that if it, like, the 49ers go up 14 points early, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, that's the part I hate about these. Whereas, like, if it's a normal game script, they want to keep throwing the ball. Maybe they don't run it every single time. Maybe they dump off and try to use that as the even game. But I mean, like, the targets are out of control for this dude.
Yeah, you could do a rushing plus receiving if you didn't want to risk that.
Yeah, if you want to kind of get both there. But yeah, I mean, the guy was targeted 8 times last week. So I mean, that's the season. He's played 3 games. He's been targeted at least 3 times in all of them. 3, 5, 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and the one against Denver, that's a tough one. That was the first game of the season, and they were ahead. So there is that. He also went for 103 yards that day.
Exactly. That's exactly.
But I mean, at Detroit, he also rushed for 80 yards, which you should not be able to run on them.
No.
At all. So yeah, we'll see. What else? Ayuk is definitely one. Looking at Sunday, I'm kind of into Tony Pollard.
Okay.
57.5. I haven't seen that. That's the only reason I bring that up, because I haven't seen that, and I just saw it on the screen here. I think if Levis doesn't play, especially, like, I don't think they're afraid to just, like, hand the ball to him. Yeah. You can run on Indianapolis. That defense is terrible, by the way. You can throw on them too.
Very bad. Yeah, very bad.
Anybody else reception wise? We got reception numbers, which we did not have yesterday. Kind of on Kittle a little bit. 5 balls doesn't feel that crazy, especially in an environment where they have to be throwing. I don't mind that. Plus 116 feels pretty good. It's minus 105 at ESPN, which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, 116 is not bad. Yeah, I personally didn't play any receptions. I mentioned this play yesterday. I ended up actually locking it in. I did take Debo rushing plus receiving. So his actually, the odds are a little bit worse than what I got it at. You can get him at, like, his main line rushing plus receiving at like 68.5, basically across the board. FanDuel has that at 73.5, which I like. And you can get 75 plus at plus 115 odds at Bet365. So
wow.
Yeah. They didn't have that price out yesterday. They didn't have alt lines, so I should have waited. I got plus 105 at DraftKings, which is now plus 100. So at least on DraftKings, I got plus EV. There we go. I got positive CLV is what I meant to say.
There you go.
Yeah, not positive
guy now.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's kind of similar to the Kenneth Walker logic. Like, Debo had 1 reception last game, and he had 3 carries for 9 yards. So I just think that, like, it's kind of, and also, like, in a game where Debo goes off for 150 receiving yards, like, yeah, of course Debo's going to have a little bit of a slower game. but I think they're going to try to get in the ball more involved. The Seahawks have not been able to tackle their last 2 games, and that's like a death sentence when you're facing Deebo Samuel. And I get it, different coaching staff. We're not a player versus team show, but Deebo has crushed the Seahawks in his career. Like his last 5 games against Seattle, 157, 97, 165, 94, 150 rushing plus receiving yards, and a combined 6 touchdowns. But that doesn't matter because we're not that kind of show. But if it did matter, those stats would be very impressive.
Yeah. The screen game seems to be a problem where Seattle not good.
No,
they got whipped multiple times by the Giants. Very early in the game, and then later on too once.
Yeah, that running back.
Yeah,
Tracy.
So I think Deebo gets those. I don't know that Mason's getting those. I don't know that they like to throw to him that much.
No, yeah, I would. I mean, Mason's been great, but
running back.
Deebo, but you're getting a better you're getting 75 plus for plus 115, or you can get 95.5 for minus money. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's a way better value on Deebo.
Yeah, I mean, he's been targeted. I look at targets. I don't really look at catches. I don't really care about catches. But yeah, he's been targeted 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 times on the season, Mason.
In 5 games, yeah.
Yeah, which doesn't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're really looking to get him the ball in the receiving game. You know what I mean? They're stepping back to pass. And it makes sense. I mean, Ayuk, Kittle, Deebo, Jennings. I mean, you got guys.
Yeah, you got options. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I think Deebo, they're gonna hit him on a screen, and like, I mean, if he breaks it, like that's the only thing he has to break it. But like they will try that. Like he's gonna get a couple bullshit receptions. So yeah.
You could do receptions for Deebo. Yeah. I don't know what that, I guess you just had it up.
No, but I was looking at that too, but it wasn't the 3.5. It was the 4.5. And it's minus 102. You know what I mean? They priced that pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm with you. That's not worth it.
Obviously he catch 10 balls, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I don't know that's possible because everybody's in play. Kittle's in play. Ayuk is clearly in play, and same with Deebo, and not necessarily Jennings, but Jennings can catch 3 balls. Like, that's not surprising. Mason might be able to run. So now, you know what I mean? Like, now everything kind of gets thinned out.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I'm having with this game so far, because I did love Ayuk until I started really digging in, just being like, dude, all these guys are in play. That's a problem, because now it's just whoever they decide, which you'll never. Good luck figuring that out.
Yeah. And I feel that way about both these teams, honestly, which is why, like, I didn't have a ladder play in this one. There's no Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jawan Johnson, CeeDee Lamb type of ladder play here because you just don't know. Like you said, it could be anybody. It could be DK, it could be Juju, or not Juju, JSN.
Yep. Yeah, they're all there. And I mean, now you're going with game script, which is going to be tough. I think the 49ers play from ahead. I just feel like that, but I don't dock the Seahawks for that Giants game, because I think the Giants are good on defense. I think they're much better than they've credit for. So they were putting up points. I think that the Seahawks scored on the Broncos, it was early, which kind of matters to me because the Broncos have been pretty good. They put up 29 against the Lions. They moved the ball. They hung 34 on the Dolphins, 23 on the Patriots. They gave up 20, which is wild. They gave up 20 to the Broncos too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I really think that the 49ers are going to be able to score and then push this thing to, like, turn into like an actual baby shootout. Like, it might not be somebody throwing for 500 yards, but, you know,
yeah,
something. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Like, we'll get official tomorrow, but I'm with you. I don't really have a ladder play. I think FanDuel gave me a 30% boost on any bet. $50, which is very nice. That's very nice. And then also a no sweat same game parlay. So I might throw in an ode to Austin and go,
there you go,
completely negative EV, or try to do something that's just ridiculous, because I know I'm getting my money back.
Yeah,
it loses.
I should look at it.
But yeah, so that's probably how I'll attack tomorrow. It won't be a Juwan Johnson, Kareem Hunt type, 400 bets all over the map. Like, no, it's probably going to be 4+ from Walker, and then raise that price up a little bit, and then go with something else. Like the $25 no sweat parlay, I'll do something fun.
Yeah.
And that'll get me through Thursday.
My profit boost is $10. My same game parlay, no sweat, is $5. So I will be playing those very, very lightly.
That's awesome. You got to do more dinger parlays, dude.
Yeah, that could be it. That could
dinger
be it.
parlays. I think that's what did it. All right, that's gonna do it for today. I'll be back at 4. We'll go through the tools at Odds Jam and hopefully sweat out some bets. I think hockey is back tonight.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. We had 2 guys I've never heard of before last night, and they both got points for us. And that was with the EV tool. So if you're on my dub club and like, hey, how come you didn't get that bet? It's because that bet was gone by the time I would have sent it to you. So it doesn't make any sense to send those out because you're just going to take a worse number. And the whole point of it is wasted at that point. But also, too, they were both at BetMGM. They let me bet $9. Well, one was at BetMGM, one was at Fanatics. So I bet $9 on each. So no one's missing anything. But if you want to see those and see how the tools at Odds Jam work, this is probably the first day that it's going to be literally like turbo boosted just with all the action. And then you'll see, like, once you have NBA thrown in with the hockey, with the football, like now you just got so much more than you can possibly imagine. It's not even funny, and it's fun, man. You can literally spray the board, and every night seems like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you're doing it with positive EV bets. There's that word again. But so Matt, tell them where you're at, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, at Jedi Modi on Twitter. We'll be quiet for the next week or so, but once we get back and NBA season starts, then we'll really start cooking. So yeah, follow me at Jedi Modi.
Awesome, man. Congrats on getting married. Nice work. I did it years ago, and it was pretty good idea on my part. So it worked out. So hopefully it worked out for you the same way. I'm sure it will. You seem to be a plus EV guy, so you're not gonna make a decision like that.
No, not negative EV.
All right. Well, good. I'll talk to you soon. Again, congrats, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with Tommy G. We'll see what he has to say. Have a great one.